Hello, merry end of friggin' December. 22 is on its way out, and this is going to be my last stream of the year. So I thought we would have a party, and everybody's here. Doc's here, Sako's here, and of course me, Morgan, because this is my stream. I'm here. So thank you all who made it live, and any of you watching in reruns. Always happy to see you, even if I can't really respond to you in the comments. I usually respond to comments. So I might do a little productivity. I have about 40 cards to address and get them in the mail, hopefully today or tomorrow. But for the most part, I think we should celebrate our year and how it went. So did y'all want to say hi to everybody?
I think 2022 was really hard on everybody.
Yeah.
But like for me, it was the fruition of all the hard work I've put in since the beginning of the pandemic. So like I'm pretty proud. I'm kind of sitting on my laurels right now, like that I accomplished like life goals and stuff like that. But
Yay. Whoops.
Whoops. Hi, Andy.
Who's your snack today? No. But yeah, 2022 has definitely been an endurance test for most of us. But it definitely wasn't the what apocalypse will we throw at you this week? Oh wait, here's 3 that 2020 was. But
Yeah.
Still managed to get a good bit accomplished. It's just, I don't know.
Not everything you hoped.
Yeah, didn't get to do everything I wanted to, but at the end of the year, it's just okay. Feeling tired, ready for the whole concept of long winter's nap.
Yeah.
Seriously. So. Hello, Andy, and welcome. So, how about you, Sako? How was yours?
Mine has been productive. I kind of took stock of my wins and chances to learn. I prefer to call failures chances to learn because like the Kickstarter was a flop, right? But it was a chance to learn. It was I have figured out like what I need to do to my plan to make it work next time. So I'm going to try again in the spring. So I still consider it a win, you know?
Okay. Good. So yeah. I wrote the story I was thinking about at the beginning of the year, and it looks like a hot mess. But I talked this week in my blog post about and why that's not always a bad thing, and why when I realized it was totally off the rails, I didn't just flail and bail, because I've had this happen before, and it's led to some of my favorite stories. I just have to learn and keep going. I was planning on doing a lot more querying this year, and I didn't. I don't know why I wasn't sending out short stories, but the novel, especially YA fantasy market, is more of a hot mess than my rough draft of my NaNoWriMo project right now. So I'm giving it time to settle down. When like 20% of the agents leave the industry, and a lot of the publishers are being shaken up, and nobody knows what's happening in 2 months, it really didn't feel like the right market to put my story into. And so I buckled down and worked on what I could, which is, turning my space fantasy from draft into a polished manuscript. And so I think that's the thing I'm most proud of this year, is the work I did on that one. So it wasn't the year I wanted, but there are definitely some wins that I can't be too sad about. So
Yes. A lot of industries, the more people practice, the more they learn how things work. But publishing and recording, this has not happened. They've learned how to work the machine to their best advantage, but it was as soon as conditions started changing, they both got lost.
Yeah.
And they still haven't figured out how they keep getting product to customers efficiently and still make a decent profit off of it. They just
they're not doing a great job. And it's totally been shaken up. And when you can get 20 books for free on Amazon Kindle, why are you going to pay out money for a book? But that's not sustainable. That's not sustainable for the authors.
It's not sustainable, and it's also kind of doing a disservice to the reader as well, because a lot of the free stuff is not consumable by a Sako. So like I feel like the 20 or so free things are, I guess it gets people start reading, but it's not indicative of the kind of stuff you're gonna see, and most of it is like free self-published stuff, so
I have to admit,
it may not be the quality self-published stuff.
I have been binging a lot of like contemporary and paranormal romances, and a lot of them are available on Kindle Unlimited, but you can also buy them. And I find the ones that aren't completely free are better quality. So it's like, yes, you can get it with Kindle Unlimited, or you can buy it, or you can buy the whole set for, X number of dollars. And I like to buy at least one series from each author I'm binging, even if I binge like 4 of their series, because my budget has space in it for at least some support for the authors, and they need it and they deserve it. If I'm enjoying their product, I should be ponying up the money. And I know not everybody's budget can do it, and it's totally like, I don't think people are doing wrong. I think if you do enjoy it and you can't put money toward it, put a review. That's something you can do for free. Request it at your local library, libraries. And oh my gosh, I was binging a paranormal vampire series by Lindsay Sands, and after buying like the 6th book on Kindle, I was like, wait, I think my local library has this series. So then I got on the library series. What's their app? Hoopla or whatever. And I downloaded it from there, because you can borrow it from your local library.
I have Libby.
Yes. I think Hoopla's for streaming stuff, like videos and audio stuff you can borrow. And Libby's for the books. That's what it is. Yeah. So just, if I'm going to be reading a series and I'm missing 2 or 3 in the middle, but I try not to just do the freebies, because if I'm enjoying it, then, that's a lot. So Devin swung by. Hello and welcome. Doc stepped away for groceries, and Andy said, yes, reviews and library requests are so important. If we don't get that 50th review, Amazon won't put us in recommendations.
Yeah.
The algorithms are God, unfortunately, these days. So Andy shared with us 2022 was rough. Yeah, I know you had a really rough year. He had his wins and some good things are coming up, but would trade it all to have a few family members back among us. But he still has some stories to finish today, and he's still submitting. So you control what you can and push forward where you can. That's, my approach.
I think that's what 2020 taught us. We will exercise that in 2022.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that entire
crap
thing? You just totally broke up.
Oh, did I?
Okay, try again.
Marco.
Polo.
Yeah, good. I think 2020 taught us to kind of persevere despite the crap, and 2022 was really like the application of what we learned in 2020.
Yeah.
So like
it's
it doesn't look like we're succeeding.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like we're succeeding, but we are. Yeah. If you look at it on paper, no, we are. We are progressing. There have been advances in technology and stuff like that, but we just don't feel it.
Yeah, 2020 was, a crisis, and it was hard and it was rough, but the new normal is not the old normal, and it is way more exhausting, and endurance is not, you can react in a crisis, but if the crisis keeps going and going and going, there's only so much you can push forward and only so much you can do. And so, you do what you can and keep moving forward. So Devin says, get lost 2022.
You too, 2022.
So I think Twitter let me link my live stream. Did you see today that Twitter's new overlord has banned accounts that primarily link to its competitors, like Facebook and Mastodon, and a lot of like Linktree bios and stuff like that? If they find that you're primarily using Twitter to promote other sites, I think is what it says.
Oh, I should check on my Twitter then, because I do.
Justifying kicking off the people linking to their magazines who write articles for them. Yeah. It's a hot mess.
Yeah, it is. Have you seen the new logo?
I have not. Has it rolled out?
Oh my gosh. Look up Twitter Blue.
Oh gosh. I'm a little scared. Twitter Blue. That's a choice.
It's like it's an eyesore.
I'll share it. So let's see. Present, share screen, share tab. It feels very early 2000s. I mean, look at all that lens flare. Oh, so. Yeah, Andy said, yup, he's even getting upset at Linktree and wondering if he's going to get banned for linking to WordPress. I'm all, come at me, bro. And the new logo looks like the 80s HBO logo. Oh, I can see that. I can totally see that. That's great. I mean, horrible, but let's not show their ads. But yeah, this website described it as well. The 80s throwback logo is shiny, poorly kerned, and barely legible, but also an accurate representation of what Twitter has become. For those of you who are not font aficionados, kerning is the spacing between the letters. So yeah, it's special. Did you want to say anything about it, Sako, now that you're back?
No, I don't think I need to say anything about it. That 80s throwback, like.
lens flares. The lens flares.
The multiple drop shadows in different colors.
Oh.
Must I keep going?
Wait. With a gradient.
With a gradient. Yeah, with the shiny gradient.
But oh no, there are some lens flares on the bottom, but very few in the middle. Okay. Bless their hearts.
Bless. So I think I would like to think that the person who did that for them, that designed that for Mr. Musk,
is perhaps upset about everybody getting booted.
I think they were just like trolling and kind of like poking fun at him, and he was like, "Oh no, let's do it! Like this is great." And the designer's like, "But
Doc,
why? What I missed?
We're discussing the new Twitter Blue logo.
Oh, the Twitter Blue that's just been discontinued because people were using it to impersonate advertisers?
Revamped and about to be relaunched, perhaps as a pay app. I'm a little confused.
I'm a little confused as well.
Well, that you had to pay for the blue check anyway, so.
Yeah. So Andy says, I hope my friend Charles, who does print layouts, doesn't see this. He's got enough to deal with. Yeah. So, Twitter.
Right.
I believe if I came into a company and wanted to find more revenue streams to it, I might talk to the management that was already there and see what ideas they have, rather than trying to reinvent the wheel without looking at the research about why it hasn't already been done. Because I would expect the most obvious solutions, there would be reasons why, and I would want to know what's going on. I know that the company I work for in my day job, we switch over, upper level management every 5 to 8 years or so, sometimes more often. And they spend the first whole month going from division to division to learn what they're doing and what their priorities are and that sort of thing, so that they can evaluate where to balance everything, rather than coming in and throwing everything away. And then, they might not have been marketing, making the most money, but they were competent. And I'd like to think that, they did their research and there were reasons they weren't already doing all the things that Elon Musk thinks is a great idea.
Yeah, well, you're definitely going to run into problems when you come in and the first thing you do is fire 75% of your staff before you find out how the operation runs and who are the critical people.
And doing it by lines of code is the most ridiculous thing. I thought that went out in the 80s. For those who don't know, it's really easy to write lots of lines of code that do things poorly, and it's the clever people change 2 lines of code and fix the thing, and the people you have fixing the broken code or upgrading code are going to be making writing fewer lines of code. So you're throwing away a lot of the higher level people if you go by how many lines of code they wrote, because these are the people coaching and guiding and mentoring the other people and the ones who are fixing the hard stuff. So
the ones who are fixing the hard stuff do it because they've got the code in their heads, and so they can figure out how to do it right before they put it down, while the people that don't understand it very well are brute forcing it with a lot of steps, and each step is basically an opportunity for mistakes to be made.
So anyway, that's why I was a little worried that my links from Twitter were not going to still exist.
That's going to be like the theme for 2022, isn't it? Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made.
So let's talk about some fun things we did this year. What was your highlight of 2022?
I haven't addressed that yet. I usually do like a wrap up in literature.
Right.
But I haven't done that yet, which is when I go through my bullet journal for the year and I kind of like figure out what of my wins are the highest of the year, and
Sure.
I have no idea. My dance career got better.
Yeah, you were dancing a couple times a month at points.
Yeah, for the fall, for summer for sure, fall, and winter is going to be the same. Yeah.
Nice. That's super awesome.
It is.
So. Devin said that Twitter is getting musky.
Yeah.
But a bunch.
I like a good pun.
For most of the year, I would have said that my high point was finishing up the Rage of Ragnarok, except now that I stop and think about it, that actually happened in December of last year.
Oops.
And what 2022 has been all about getting Kindred of Kali to kick off, but
yeah,
that really started off with in the last 2 weeks of December last year, I threw together a beta read, and I actually got like almost all of my beta readers to finish on time. I think there was like maybe one person that I held out for their stuff.
Nice.
It's like we always focus on the first draft because you can't do anything without the first draft, but I made a lot of progress on managing my revision process a lot better this year. So I'm happy about that.
Nice. I'm glad to hear that. I think I already talked about my highlight was getting my draft of my space fantasy out to beta revised and out to beta readers. Most of who had high level, at least positive feedback. I'm still waiting on one, but since I told them 2 weeks before Nano, at this point, I'm not going to touch it till the new year. I'll nudge him, a week after New Year's, I think, if I haven't heard back by then. What about outside of dance and writing? Is there any like personal wins, or for Doc, I guess day job wins?
No, unfortunately, the day job has not been a source of.
Just
and it's like I do great stuff. I get recognized by people who can't actually help my career. So, and the people that can't help my career, like, that's not what we expected you to do. That this means nothing to us. We don't even understand it.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been doing more in my shop, so that was nice. And I got to show off a couple of my woodcraft stuff at Balticon this year. So that was nice. And a lot of the events and stuff that were virtual went back in person, so it was nice to see faces. And my mom getting better and out of the hospital, definitely a highlight. This holiday season, does, knock on wood, anything made of wood, does not look to be 3 heart surgeries over 2 weeks over the holidays. So yeah, definitely a lot less scary and stressful. So that's definitely up there. So
I think my vacation was actually a vacation.
Ooh.
I went into hedonism mode and like actually enjoyed my vacation.
Was that Penzic or?
Mm-hmm.
I think it helps that, you know, it's a whole different environment.
That left in your brain that you know it was wrong.
So nice. Oh, is it snack time?
Well, I just had groceries delivered, and that was when all my snacks arrived.
Nice. So what are your snack choices of the day?
I've got coconut macaroons.
Ooh, schmancy.
Which I absolutely love, and they're hard to get any time of year except right now.
Okay. Yeah, I got
also
some
have
shortbread
holiday cookies.
Classic.
And white fudge covered pretzels.
Yeah, nice. So Devin just finished supper, so no snacks for Devin. Although hopefully dinner was delicious.
Hopefully. My dinner will be delicious.
Nice.
Tenderloin with homemade mac and cheese, which is usually made with Havarti.
Okay.
Nice.
How was Gregmas?
Gregmas was amazing. Yay! We invited all his friends, and like 2 of his friends couldn't make it. Wah, boo-hoo. But nobody was playing for money. The poker game was really more about fun and interaction than it was about money, which was really great.
Nice. That's awesome. I'm glad he had a good time and got to see a lot of people. So.
His birthday proper is in 2 days.
Yeah, I knew it was this week.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was last week and you corrected me. I can own up. So yeah, last week I skipped because I was making cookies, and I believe I showed off pictures, including my skull and crossbone, pink skull, glittery. The cookies are long gone at this point, though. So yeah. Did I show you my holiday cards this year?
No.
My first pack are these guys.
Ooh, pretty.
So. And they've got a bit of foil accents on them.
Yes, they do.
So, and I figured since I was going owl, I would lean in. And so my other set are these guys.
Also pretty.
So
the snowy owl.
And I didn't realize until I opened the second box and pulled out the about info tag that was, you know, in the packaging. Exact same artist. So they coordinate very nicely then. So
they coordinate quite nicely.
Andy thought they were pretty too. So they might even make it into, you know, the mailbox this week.
So nice to get those holiday cards before the holiday.
Nice. Devin says these owl cards are a hoot.
They are a hoot.
Oh, I love it. So I am going to step away and grab myself a snack. So chat amongst yourselves.
Oh, we shall chat amongst ourselves. So your revision process. You said you streamlined it. What are the machinations of your revising process?
I mean, I started with the whole thing about giving people 5-chapter blocks at a time.
Yeah.
So that, you know, you don't like send the whole manuscript off to someone and then they decide to flake on you and you don't find out until the whole time is gone.
Right.
But just the whole thing. But in terms of after I break up the book into 5-chapter chunks and then figuring out how much time to allocate, because I believe I did the whole thing in like 6 weeks, and most of that was like 2 weeks gathering people, and the the people who signed up early got the first sections early. But then the real meat of it was over a month, and just for me being on top of whenever somebody sent feedback back to go ahead and flip out the next section to them, and it seemed to work pretty well. I think last time I gave people too much time, so they tended to put things off. By keeping it compressed and telling them up front how many sections there were, it, I guess, created more urgency. Of course, I also like to think that I wrote the second story better, so that people were more bought in and were trying to get through it to get the next chunk of the story.
More compelled.
There's a good term, compelling. Yes. And I did a lot better with it when the beta read feedback was coming in, that I was going ahead and copying things into the manuscript, and then when I got everything together, that I just got on myself and started working on it every day. That has been harder with my editor's feedback to get back into the habit of working on it every day.
Yeah, daily attention. I think one of my goals for 2023 is daily practice for dance. And I'm hoping it's not just like a manic thing at the end of the year where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do more dance. I'm, especially since that costs, the way for me to grow at this point is going to cost me money. And I applied for some scholarships, but we'll, fingers crossed, I'll hear like December 20th as to whether or not I'll be let in or not. And if I am not let in, that means I need to wait until I have money.
Yeah. But
so my not sister-in-law, or my not stepsister, because my dad has a partner and her daughter got me a charcuterie assortment of things for solstice yesterday.
Yay!
Nice.
So let's see. We have a Neil's Yard Dairy Keen's cheddar.
Yum.
We have a microwave safe. What is this? Let's see.
It looks cheesy.
Vermont Creamery St. Albans aged cow's milk cheese.
Okay.
Not really sure.
That either sounds like it's a soft spreadable cheese, or it's like something you can heat and
I
melt.
did see it was microwavable, but it's a ceramic, an actual little ceramic. Like you can see, it's got the and some smoked salmon.
Oh, nice. Salmon or salami?
Salami. I'm sorry. Yes, of course.
I'm like,
right?
No.
I'm like, that's some rough looking salmon.
Right? And a little sampler of blackberry rosemary jam.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
that does sound good.
I'm quite excited. Eva is here. Hello. And Eva is snacking with some cheddar and sour cream lays. And Andy just has tea because dinner's in an hour. Yeah. So, okay. Did anybody in the watchers want to talk about the highlight of their 2022? It can be writing or not. Up to you. Haha. How crispy is this on the microphone?
I didn't hear that at all. There we go. But I have to say, one of the other things that 2022 has helped me with is ended up doing some better networking. I've started doing Gail Carragher's Continual. It's a project that they started with at the beginning of the pandemic, that with all the conventions shutting down, they started doing virtual panels, and it just keeps going. So I've been able to do a few panels with that, and I'm looking forward to doing some readings when I'm getting my book ready to come out. And I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago. I finally got a contact with the folks running a book signing down at the Carolina Renaissance Festival that I've been trying to get into for something like the past 5 years. And it turns out that 4 years ago, it was turned over to one of the authors who was being run out of a bookstore, and it got turned over to one of the authors, and he turns out to be someone I know from RavenCon. So,
sweet.
Yes. So I'm going to be in the signing next year, provided that we don't have new pandemic wonderfulness coming up. But if things are about the same or better, then I will be there. And he has managed to double the sales each year with what he's been doing. So I'm looking forward to that.
That sounds really awesome.
Yeah.
Popping to the comments, Eva says, "Oh goodness, we got to move back home after expecting a 2-year relocation. We reconciled an estranged relationship, and Eva finished their first draft and their second one, and they've all stayed healthy. Oh my gosh, that's an amazing year.
That's great.
Such a win. So many wins.
Yeah.
That's a good year.
For Devin got a lot of exercise over the summer, exploring new walking trails before the weather got horrible.
Yeah. I think re-releasing Hotaru is teaching me a lot, and also like trying to go to print is teaching me quite a bit as well. So I'm, as a comic creator, you know, like life is different than it was 10 years ago. You know, so I'm learning new skills. I'm learning how things kind of work this time around, and it's going well. It's mostly learning and not so much, you know, like resting on the accolades of the populace or anything like that. But
is that when it started, Hotaru? 10 years ago?
12 years ago, actually.
Oh, okay.
So I worked on it for 8 years, and then the writer took over the art, and I still did the pre-press and stuff. And yeah, the years that I wasn't writing it or drawing it rather were not appreciated by the audience, apparently. So my writer got like super discouraged and like nuked the comic from orbit. And I was like, but that is like the only proof of what I've been doing for the past 10 years. What are you doing? And she's like, oh, well, you can do whatever you want with it. And here are the rights. And I was like, oh, okay.
That was just before last year's Imaginarium, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
So the original writer gave you the rights to stuff that had already been published, and you're republishing it now. And are you
redoing Sako Studios? Yeah.
Are you redoing all the art?
I'm not redoing the art because I redid the art.
Some of the art was his art.
So the comic originally was released in black and white, and then in chapter 3 we decided to go color. Well, she decided to go color, and which like tanked our print, our print sales, stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's.
No, I'm just trying to get a better understanding of your current project, that you're republishing this in print, in color, and you said that the original writer had stopped using you and started using their own art. Are you redoing that art, or
I am not
their art? Okay.
I am only releasing the art that I did for the first 3 chapters. Yeah. So that there is evidence of what I worked.
Okay.
What I worked on.
Do you know
how many chapters were there fully?
We were working on 4 and 5 when she took over. I thought about like releasing at least the inks, because I drew a chunk of chapter 4, but there's not enough. There's just not enough. Maybe I'll add it to the omnibus. I don't know.
I think those always go over pretty well in omnibuses. So, go ahead.
I was just kind of thinking, so what are you going to do if this turns out to make the whole thing real popular and people want more? I guess you'll deal with that when it happens, right?
Yeah, I'll deal with that when it comes to it, you know.
Okay.
When
it
happens.
So popping over to the comments, Eva is currently working on some forms for CGL's writing contest, and there's an announcement live scheduled for 2 p.m. Eastern on Barrett Laurie's channel tomorrow. For those interested, there are apparently going to be big cash prizes. And Devin says he's got a lot to share when we discuss our lowlights. So we can go there. We can go there. I like to be positive, but I mean, I don't like to pretend bad stuff doesn't happen, you know?
So what have you just survived in 2022?
Right? I try not to just share my high points. I don't want, the highlights reel to be what you see.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't save the... There we go. What was your low light of 2022?
The death of the patriarch of my family.
Okay.
That was pretty rough. Yeah.
I think that was... And the fact that his son is kind of sitting on the house and sitting on the will, and come the new year, he's going to have to pay, taxes on the money that he hasn't paid out. because I was supposed to inherit a chunk of that, and I could really use that money. That would be really helpful. That would solve like a lot of my problems.
My grandfather died 20 years ago, and one of my brothers is the executor of the will, and he still hasn't wrapped it up. The only time I actually got something about it from it was about 10 years ago when we took a trip down and picked up some furniture as part of our inheritance, and we've been for a long time we were concerned because there was the taxes on the house were eating away at everything. The house finally got sold, but it's like all of that is in the estate, and we're not seeing any of it, and it would definitely make my life easier. And my oldest brother is basically working for himself, and it would definitely do great things for his life.
Yeah.
But I
not seeing the
my other brother is not being communicative about what he's doing with the estate, and he's
probably not doing anything. He's probably just, it's probably the last thing he wants to think about.
There's a certain part of me that says that, okay, my oldest brother doesn't have any children. I don't have any children. The brother who's the executor, he has children. I almost figure like he's just going to sit on it until we die, and then it, all goes to him and his kids. But
yeah.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
So is that the low light of your 2022?
No, that's for the past 20 years I've been dealing with this. That's just a small snippet so that I can show Sako that I understand part of what she's going through. Because this is part of how neurodivergent people relate. Let's see, low point of 2022. Honestly, the hardest thing that's been for me to deal with in 2022 didn't actually happen to me. It happened to somebody else at Balticon, that an author that I knew got yanked out of a panel because of accusations of them using discriminatory language, and just the whole thing was handled badly by the wrong people. And Balticon has been my home fair since I started doing conventions, and it's caused a lot of division between people, and people choosing sides, and it's like mistakes were made. Things were done without investigation happening when they should have been done after investigation happened. Yeah. People were not treated properly, and a lot of people have reacted by saying, "I'll never go back to this convention." And it's like, okay, you're hurting the convention less than you're hurting yourself here. But that's the thing that really sticks out for me as being, this is crap I have lived through.
I was involved with that investigation and communicating the thing, and clearly we did not communicate if that was your takeaway. Because facts and truth and there's a difference between what can be said by people in an organization versus an individual speaking for themselves.
And there's also a difference between the facts that eventually come out and what people are running their mouths about in the meantime.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to just sum it up quickly so we don't spend lots of time.
Yeah. So I believe one of my highlights was getting off the board and not having to deal with stuff like that ever again.
Yep.
I can see that. Because things and stuff, and that was not one of my favorite parts of the year, was being in any way, shape, or form involved with that. Even if I said, hey, I'm not the right person, I will communicate the decision, but I am not part of the decision-making process here. So my low light, I do believe, was my New Year's Eve, which after a very lackluster holiday season of hospital visits was supposed to kick off with a New Year's Eve party, but instead the host / my boyfriend I hadn't seen in 2 weeks got COVID on the same day that my laptop battery died. And so it was just, oh wait, maybe that was the culmination of 2021.
I think that was
anyway
2021 hitting you at the end of the year.
My new year was not amazing.
Either way, it's not the way you want to start the year.
No. Other lowlights include a stack of form rejections and the hot mess that is my current story that I thought I was ready for and all excited about, and then it didn't turn out anything like what I'd hoped for. So
normal for stories, but
those are definitely some downsides. Although I did want to jump back to Doc saying, "Let me share a story like yours as a neurodivergent thing." Everybody keeps saying that, but I really think the "let me share a story to show that my experience is similar to yours" is more along the line of ask versus guess culture, where in some places you ask if you want something, and in some you guess because it's rude to ask or whatever. And I think the sharing a story of a similar nature is also part of that cultural upbringing. But
yeah, I think it is the concept of I commiserate.
Yes.
Yeah.
I understand what you are going through. But it's such a weird like slope. Because my mother and my sister kind of use it to one up each other as far as like who has the worst life.
Yeah.
I try not to play that game. I think it's gross. And like mom got cancer and my sister got fibro that like completely prevents her from living her life. Right. And like you guys won. Like, could you stop?
Yeah.
That'd be great if you could stop.
Yeah. I think, those are big scary things, and realizing that your life, your week, your year, your existence isn't going to look like what you'd hoped for can involve a long grieving process, not just the healing or, maintenance stuff. And that therapy is probably not a bad idea if you're struggling. So popping to the comments, Eva said Laurie Barrett's got $575 in prizes with 0 entry fee, and it's totally anonymous until we need to discover the winners.
Yeah.
So sharing other lowlights for Eva, a few medical issues, loneliness, and waiting for that under 5 vaccine. Yeah. And financial goal misses. Those are hard. Those are really rough. For Devin, his first middle finger salute, read between the lines, goes off to YouTube. And oh no, the second goes to his publisher. I think I missed the publisher stuff, but
I did the publisher.
There are a lot of publisher issues, so I can only imagine. Eva said that when her grandmother passed away, one of her children hoarded her items in the basement until it flooded and ruined them all, and she had no money or wealth to leave behind. Eva's mother, seeing what grief does to siblings, especially that aren't close, has already given her children things there's nothing left to fight over. Yeah. Eva says it's easier to have submissions as uploads or as copy and paste it into the form. Which is easier, having submissions as uploads or copy and paste it into the form?
Because I write mostly in Google Docs, I can upload, but I have to save as a certain file type first to upload it. I'm not worried about formatting at that stage, so I can cut and paste it. I can upload it. Either way, there's not going to be a lot of formatting.
Yeah, it really depends on whether or not formatting is important to your story. So,
but I would agree that copy paste is easier and also safer, because I think a lot of people don't like attachments for that same reason, is that you can get viruses and stuff that way.
Yeah. And if you're talking short story length, then that's probably okay.
Yeah. If formatting isn't an issue, there's no poetry category. So for Devon's loses, whatever. Started the year with multiple things to promote, ending with just cats spreadsheets. So lots of loss this year. Yeah, that's a lot. So Eva says it's safer too, was hoping that was the way, can also limit the word counts that way with 2,500 words.
Yeah.
Nice.
If you're definitely limiting on number of words or number of characters, you can definitely say, okay, you're automatically disqualified because you're over the limit.
Yeah.
Hi, Gilly.
I am jealous of your snackies and your kitties. My kitty took a hike.
Aw.
I thought you're.
So the couch behind me is an L-shaped, and Catticus very often ends up curling up right where it goes this way, because that way he can see down the hall and the garage door and me, and it's a great optimal place for visual checks. And so he's napping there right now. So it's also right next to the kitchen island counter, so he can easily cruise into there. It's just a good access point for everything. So thank you for sharing Gilly with us.
Well, she was over here, so I figured I'd pick her up, and then she'd either settle in or she'd go away.
I hear you.
And she chose to go away.
Kitties are picky like that.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Is Catticus unique, or do other cats have issues communicating what game they would like to play?
Many cats have such issues.
Because Catticus is, no, I want to play, but not like that, but not like that, but not like that. Oh, you threw it the wrong way. I'm going to sit here and stare at you until you throw the toy in the correct direction.
Oh, that is a picky cat.
That is picky.
Like, super picky. Like, oh my gosh. And, you know, sometimes I start to play with him, and he's clearly wound up, but he doesn't, like, play back. So we mostly have chase things or hide and seek, where we hide behind the corner of something and peek at each other until somebody comes up and tags the other one.
Yeah.
So those are the primary games. Like I got one of those laser pointer. It's basically like a Robovac, because it like goes around in random directions and spins and bumps into things and backs up and turns around. And he'll play with it for like 2 minutes and he's like, I'm humoring you. So he really likes the person interaction a lot. So
we would play with Trill, and she would go after a feather or a string, and she would enjoy running and jumping after it for a while, and then she would go and find a hiding space and just lurk and watch. And it's like,
I mean, Pounce is the best game, obviously. Like, he doesn't actually play catch. He likes to hide behind something, and then I throw something past him, and then he pounces out after it. And sometimes, like, he's waiting so long, I think he's done, but actually he's just still waiting and readying up his pounce. And it can take him like 3 minutes, or it feels like that.
Yeah. And sometimes it just seems like, okay, you're just gonna look at it, then I'm getting bored here, Cat.
Or you know, he's playing and then he has to take a bath, and then 5 minutes later he's like, why aren't you still in play mode? Yeah, stop to take a bath, Cat. What can I say? So I have a very, very particular kitty.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
So hello, K-Bet. I'm Kindemi. Nice to meet you. This is my stream, and we're chatting about our end of the year, how our writing went. If you do writing, you don't have to. What your wins were and what your lows are. So let's see. Andy says Zoe is sleeping in the bedroom. Tellus is downstairs on the couch waiting to stalk Sunday dinner. And that's standard for Zoe. Tellus tends to be more of a chase or dangle and grab at the string cats. Yeah. Catticus will do that one too. And he does like the laser pointer. But if he really wants to play and won't play, I have like these meat sticks. It's like a jerky almost. And he pretty much always chases those.
Right on.
So we used to have the first cat that we had when we moved into this place, we called her Grace because she was the clumsiest cat I'd ever saw. So we had to name her Grace so she'd have some. But she would love to go chasing after stuff. I would be working on my computer, and she would bring me a bit of leather string or a mouse, and I would take it and I would throw it down the hallway, and she would go running after it and bring it back. And she was happy for that to go on for hours.
Thank you for swinging by, K-Bedtime, Kendemi. I appreciate you swinging by. I understand you're in Turkey and have college tomorrow. So if you have exams or anything coming up, good luck, or papers or what have you. Have a good evening. So, sorry, I wanted to say goodbye before they had to head out. So, we were talking about cats, right?
This was the apportioned cat segment of the live stream. Yes.
This was the cat portion of the.
I mean,
the mandatory cat themed content.
It's true. We had our snacks. We had our cats. So, did you have a favorite book you read this year, or author you discovered?
Not this year. I was disappointed by every book I read this year.
Aw.
So we can add that to the loses.
Which really, like, because the story doesn't start fast enough for me. You know, like, if it doesn't happen in the first 3 chapters, I DNF. You know, if I don't see a inciting incident in 3 chapters, I'm out.
Whoa. I occasionally like a nice slow start, but 3 chapters in and they still don't have inciting?
Yeah. I'm that hard to please. Yeah. I need an inciting incident really
How
early.
are they even published? That's like, but is it even like hinted at? I don't know.
How do you mean?
She's saying that
like
she
set up
expects
like,
an
oh,
inciting
this
incident.
is a thing, but just in case, you know, if something goes wrong, you know, we'll have to do something about it.
I'm confused.
Sometimes inciting incidents are hinted at earlier.
Oh.
Or like, the thing is coming up in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That will decide my future.
As long as it actually comes, they can hint at it in the first 3 chapters and imply that it will happen, like they're expecting it to happen. And I'll read through that. That's fine. But like, if it doesn't like actually get the let out and get the story started, like that's one of the reasons why I'm anti-prologue. Like, just get to the story. I don't need the backstory is like behind the scenes stuff, guys. Like your world building and all of that. Like you don't gotta throw that all at us, in the first, like, in a prologue, in a really long prologue. Which is one of the reasons why I got burned out on. That's one of the reasons that I got burned out on fantasy.
Doc, you were going to say?
No, I was saying it's like a short prologue to set the tone. That's one thing.
That's one thing.
Long prologues, no, just don't.
Long prologues full of world building are like not my favorite.
It's like, why did you put the appendix at the front?
I'm thinking I need to look at the feedback, and I haven't yet, of putting my page and a half prologue back in my space fantasy to set the mood a little more. I think trying to filter it into chapter 1 did not work as well as I'd hoped.
Mm-hmm.
So, Doc, did you have a favorite book or new author you found?
Not really. I have to admit that my reading is one of those things that has taken a hit. That I've put so much time into writing and editing and trying to get in regular exercise and other things that I haven't been making the time to sit down and read. I've been consuming a ton of media, but I'm not doing a lot of sitting down and reading stuff. And I've got like 3 or 4 different books that I started that I need to get back to and finish.
Ditto. I have 3 craft books that I would like to read in 2023. That would be nice.
Well, I don't actually have an answer for that myself. I found a bunch of I kept reading on a bunch of authors I discovered in the past, and I found a few new authors that I hadn't read before. But while I'm enjoying the series and stuff that I am reading, their current book was not my favorite in the series. So, but they're still they're still jumping to the front of my to read pile because I enjoy them so much.
Nice.
I think the cutest one I read was A Very Meowy Christmas with cat shapeshifters. I think this is the one I cooed about because they had but there was only one croissant. Oh no. There was only one what's the thing you call a gushy soft in the middle main character?
Cinnamon roll?
Yes, there was only one cinnamon roll.
Oh.
Which I thought was a great combining of there was only one bed trope but there is cinnamon roll inside.
Yeah.
I died laughing. I tried to explain it to my boyfriend, and he's just like,
I don't understand. Yeah.
It still makes me laugh like a month later. So Devin says he got a bunch of beta reading done this year, so that's awesome. For Eva, 1 form done, 1 to go, halfway there. Awesome. And best author, Sharon M. Draper, a middle grade author. She's the only one Eva could think of. Didn't read a lot this year.
Yeah.
So,
but cool.
Yeah. Let me look up Sharon M. Draper and see what sort of.
As far as authors that I hadn't read before that I really enjoyed, Laura Nettles. I'm a big fan of her writing. Like,
awesome.
Like anything I get to read is a joy. Sorry.
Okay. Eva says she reads plenty of drafts, but Sharon Draper was the only one she randomly picked up from the library and hoped to read more of, and read her Stella by Starlight. Cool. Oh, Andy was really devouring Arkady Martine's 2 books, and they deserve the Hugos. And it was really cool to, oh my gosh, you got to talk film noir with her in Chicago. That's cool. And Chicago is a great city to talk noir in.
Yeah, it is.
It's the home of noir, right? No.
I mean, it might as well be. What other city is more set for noir?
It's just like, isn't all noir set in Chicago? No.
It's like New York or
I put it maybe on par, but not ahead of Chicago.
Mm-hmm. It depends on what kind of noir you're writing, I guess.
True.
Like Louisiana is.
Andy says New York and LA would have fights with Chicago on that. So Eva is hoping to read more next year, hoping to aim for more read time, less Wi-Fi time. Yeah. I do have to give myself credit. As the year has progressed, I've been watching fewer and fewer Facebook Reels because the beginning of the year was pretty bad on that. And I'm hoping to see. So, did I tell you my ADHD meds update? So my therapist moved on, so I had to go to a new one, and my 3-week, medication ran out. So I'm like, hey, what are we doing? And he's like, okay, so you napped the first day, but no real side effects. Okay, well, now that we know you don't have bad side effects, why don't we double your dose to an actual therapeutic dose?
Mm-hmm.
So apparently they were just checking for side effects for the last 6 weeks.
Yep.
And I finally got put on an actual therapeutic dose just in time for the holidays.
So how are you doing on the therapeutic dose so far?
I think I have been a little nappier in the afternoon, and about an hour and a half after I take it, I'm not sure if like my heart starts getting a little faster or like I just get shaky with blood sugar stuff, but it's become less and less obvious as the week progressed, but I'm doing my best not to take it without food. Because I definitely feel a response a little bit after I take it. Mm-hmm. So, but it's hard to tell, especially with the holidays and the schedule being all over the place. So I guess I'll figure out more in the new year. So.
But it sounds like it's mostly working so far.
it's not working. It's hard to tell if executive dysfunction is better or worse when the holidays have me all over the place.
This is true.
So Devin says he's done some beta reading for Laura Nettles a few times, and she's awesome. And Andy says New Orleans noir is its own beast and doesn't care what other folks think. Oh yes. Yep. Oh yeah. But it's muggy. It's muggy noir.
Yeah, but it's I don't think you can't. Do you actually have New Orleans noir that stays in New Orleans, or is it also like bio fantasy?
Oh, most of the noir I know for New Orleans involves vampires, but that's what I read.
It should involve. Well, I don't know about vampires, but witches and voodoo and ceremonies done out in the swamp. No.
I think the whole vampire thing in New Orleans was started by Anne Rice.
I don't know. Well, if you're a smart vampire, you're going to go where there's lots of people, because the more people there are, the fewer an individual going missing will be noticed. So, large population centers, and New Orleans is a major trade hub.
Yep.
So, lots of people coming and going.
I mean, Interview with a Vampire was published in what, 94?
Yeah.
Oh no, that was the film. Sorry, my bad.
Oh.
The
book.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, the book was written in 73, so it's older than me. Oh, she sold the publishing rights in 74. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it came out in 76. But yeah, no. Vampire noir in New Orleans is older than me. So. Oh, poor Andy. One regret, he couldn't attend World's Fantasy in NOLA. Everyone was posting about their dinners and going to Café du Monde, and he missed it. So, yeah. Yeah, so is St. Louis, if you want to mix it up. I mostly know St. Louis from the Anita Blake books.
Right.
So, which have been coming out since dating me high school.
High school, yeah.
Yeah. So.
I read the third book first, and then I went back and read 1 and 2, and then 3 again because I loved it so much. And then 4 and 5. You can kind of tell her influence on my writing just a little bit. I don't write in first person anymore, but like she kind of set the tone for my writing a little bit.
Okay.
Cool. And then she turned into like erotica, and there wasn't
like a couple books. She's gotten back to plot.
She's gotten back to plot, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there's still like erotic scenes and stuff, but
I like a little bit of eroticism kind of like sprinkled in, but it doesn't need to be the main plot of the book.
No. Now that she has her, sex-based superpower mostly under control, it's less of the forefront of the story.
Oh, sex superpower, huh? Okay. Yeah, the way the show dealt with Sookie in True Blood was that she was fae, and so everybody was addicted to her. Okay. Okay.
Andy's ready to pick fights. The best way to start a fight with a Chicago native urban fantasy fan is to go on about how accurate the Dresden books are about local knowledge.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is when you're writing locally, it's fantasy. you're writing an alternate version of that world, and therefore it can have nods to reality, but it doesn't have to follow them strictly.
I am pretty loyal to my locations.
I think my big thing is if I'm super loyal, then I'm also very, very loyal to the year it was in, and I don't want to necessarily date my story that precisely.
Oh, I got you.
So,
yeah.
See, I have to. Well, I have taken real locations. I have also played with history, so and any discrepancy between the world as you know it and the way I describe it in the books is solely because things happen differently in my world. So
yeah.
But I mean, you know, I've tended to use real locations and do research on them, but sometimes it's just more expedient to go and change certain facts and rearrange the landscape.
Yeah. Oh, I've been dancing a lot, so my hips and legs are feeling it. My hips, most specifically. Oh my gosh.
Oh dear. Yeah. Well, belly dance, it's a lot of hip movement. Mm-hmm. How's your core?
Oh, my core is great. Like,
oh, good.
I have no problem with my core, but my hips are tight now because I've been doing lots of hip work.
Gotcha. Okay.
Stretch.
Yeah. Also learned some really great hand stretches in my Zill class today.
Okay. Oh, nice.
So like that's awfully nice. Like things that I'll like introduce to writers at some juncture. Like, cool. I think that would be cool.
Oh, is it a stretch break time? I think it might be stretch break time.
Stretch break time? Okay.
I haven't seen Nightbot. How are we supposed to know when to stretch?
When the stretch time is.
Oh, she talked about stretching, and now I have to stretch.
So now you have to stretch, yes.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
I know. I've had some problems with my knees the last couple of days, but I think it's mostly that it's finally getting cold.
That makes sense. Yeah. So, oh yay! Eva finished creating the forms and is going to test them out and get a new drink.
You know what? Getting a new drink sounds awesome. I think I might do that too.
Do it. Doc, hold down the fort.
Oh, I have to hold down the fort. I was going to go get eggnog.
Faster.
We'll hold down the fort while she gets eggnog.
Okay.
And we'll take turns.
But I was going to say the big thing for physical fitness for me for 2022 was getting into VR.
Oh, right on.
Because doing VR and I've been doing mostly Beat Saber for workouts, but it's bless you. It's something that I can do. It's something that I can do while sitting down, so it doesn't put stress on my knees, but it gets arm and body workout and gets the heart rate up, which they keep saying is the big thing.
Cardio.
Okay.
So I'm back. Go,
right.
Go do it.
Okay.
Devin says he's also an eggnog fan. So am I. But I've got this lactose intolerance thing that showed up after I was on like 2 courses of antibiotics in 1 year. And so I picked up the oat eggnog, and it's it's not quite sadness, but it's not quite what I was looking for. Plus, I had a bad experience with eggnog that was not past its expiration date, but had been open for 2 weeks, involving food poisoning. So I should probably throw that one away now.
That's not, yeah. If you still got it,
dairy, yes. So it's probably okay. But yeah, no.
All right.
So I'm not gonna. Oh, look, Sako left the fireplace burning for us.
Yep. But all right,
I do have a Jingle All the Way cup.
Okay.
That a certain niece of mine gave me for the holidays one year.
Very sweet.
So Sako's back, so I'm going to go get my eggnog.
Do it.
Okay, go do it.
Nog yourself. Ooh, and snacks, even better. Cookie. It looks like a cookie.
It is a cookie.
Excellent.
Wegmans had like these Italian cookies assortment.
Sure.
The upside is that they are super delicious. The downside is that they're super crumbly. So I have to like eat them with my head craned back because so that I don't get crumbs all over.
Yeah. So I haven't broken into the generic creamy cow's cheese yet because it's got a crust that makes me think of the cheeses that are a little stinky that I don't like. And so should I try it? Should I just save it for somebody else?
I think you should try it.
Okay. I'm going to be brave. But if it's stinky cheese, I blame you.
Okay. I will take responsibility.
For absolutely no reason whatsoever. But, I mean, I can't blame Catticus. He's taking a nap. Because I do like creamy cheeses, but a lot of them... Yeah, nope. That's the type I did not want. Okay, that's fine.
Sorry. So, I've got my adult eggnog, and this is a cup that I picked up at the Renaissance Festival.
Oh, nice.
That is, I believe it's onyx. It's all one, or is it onyx or obsidian? I forget which, but it's wood. That it's one single piece, and it's like, I was like looking at these size cups, and I picked up this one, and it's like, okay, that is a very expensive wood. And I looked at the other ones, and they were different woods, but they were the same price. It's like, if I'm paying that price, I'm getting the expensive one. But this is the first chance I've had to drink out of this.
Google says that onyx is more likely to be far more expensive, so it's probably obsidian.
Obsidian, okay.
So, volcano glass.
Yeah. So it's whatever.
So
it's a black wood that starts with O, whose name I can't remember.
Right. So Andy is off to dinner, and then back on the clock has to get the story submitted before he flies out to Chi-Town on Wednesday. Well, good luck and have a good dinner, and say hi for us, and maybe give the cats a little pet. So,
right.
Devin would like to know if we're going to sing Christmas carols for them.
We have not rehearsed.
We have not. Are there any requests? Caveat, I can follow a tune, but I cannot carry one. I do much better with a note to match than making up my own notes and rhythm or finding the notes and rhythm. So let's see. Eva bought a pretty large onyx stone ring once for less than $200. So maybe pricier, but not too pricey. That's a ring. Can you imagine a cup made out of that? Or maybe I'm just cheap with my drinkware. if I think over $200 is a bit much for a single cup goblet. So, and you're back.
Okay. I think my husband is done talking about the World Cup.
Did the right people win?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
Excellent.
And the star player, it's his last time ever, and like, yeah, he got like best player and
nice.
Yeah,
That's
it went real well.
Yay. For whoever he was rooting for, which is the important part. So, yeah, Eva said the ring had gold and a few diamond chips, but yeah, an onyx goblet is out of her price range too. Yeah.
No, it's not onyx. Onyx is a stone. And I tried to look up black wood, and I came up with ebony, and it's like, okay,
Ebony.
It's ebony. Okay.
Ebony.
I don't know why I thought it started with an O, but apparently I have not been drinking early enough. No. And also, apparently, I have to carry the conversation because everyone else is muted while they're chewing.
I mean, I could chew in your ear or talk while I'm chewing, but my mama raised me better than that. Maybe you thought there was an O because it's ebony.
Maybe.
Oh, my clock is back.
The clock is back.
And I need to wind it. So I'll be right back, but it'll be like 2 steps that way.
Okay.
Does it involve a German clock winder?
Yeah, there is citrine and obsidian on my cup.
Okay.
Onyx. I think it's onyx, not obsidian. I like snacks.
Have one of those days where it's like you're usually good with words, and then you're like your whole vocabulary just corrupts through itself, and it's like I know.
I am fortunate that doesn't happen to me.
It's like I know the right concepts, I know the things, but all the word references are mixed up.
It chimed when I wound it, so clearly I should have wound it a little sooner. But it's still showing the right time, and I can't get to there's 3 spots to wind it, here, and there, and the center spot is at the 6 o'clock hour. So I'll have to come back and wind it in like an hour.
So but you need to find the time where all 3 of those spots are available, so it's like that's winding time.
At the beginning of the stream would have been fine, because last week I got it back on Saturday, so I went 8 days without winding it. So if I did it during my stream at the beginning of the stream, at the 4 o'clock hour, it's not blocking anything. Or maybe 10 minutes into the hour, because it's at the 45, the 15, and the 30 is where it's going to block. So
I think I've eaten enough cookies, and I will probably spoil my dinner if I eat any more.
Yeah. I'm going to put my cheeses aside. So that charcuterie board was brought to us by Ruth. Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you, Ruth.
I didn't get any of the charcuterie board.
I mean, you can thank your delivery guy instead.
She got tipped? No.
That was her thanks. She was thanked her favorite way.
Yep.
With money. At least I assume. I'm making assumptions. I've never met her.
It's traditional. No.
As is tradition.
Doing things.
So let's talk a little bit about writing. What big thing did you try this year that really helped your writing or your editing?
Publishing on Amazon again.
Ooh, nice.
I didn't market as much as I should have, and also Amazon doesn't notify me when I make money. So I logged into my account and was like, oh, I have money. So like, I don't know if that was from what little marketing I did, or if that was like people stumbling on shit. So like I feel good about, I feel really good about Shadows of the Fae. Like,
okay.
That was my July release, and I think I had leveled up my writing because I was like, the climax was very moving.
Sure.
Like, I moved myself, and and this was the first time ever that I've been moved by my own writing. So I'm like, yeah. So I was like, the abuse from the rest of the book is totally worth it for that climax, for when she finally stands up for herself. And like, so both on a technical standpoint and also on a publishing standpoint, I learned a lot. I did.
Okay. Good. I'm glad. So I think we talked about Doc's was editing every day, or was there anything else you wanted to call out?
Yeah, that's the big thing is trying to make I usually say that I want to do at least 5 days a week. But a lot of times I say 5 days a week so that if I end up having to take a day off, I don't beat myself up for having broken a streak.
Gotcha.
But it's just that commitment to making regular contributions to moving the writing forward. And once you're in the pattern of it, it works great. But eventually you come to the end of the book, or you've got to wait for somebody else to give you feedback so you can do something else. And it's always hard to get started. But it's one of the great things that once you get going in doing regular writing or regular editing, you make so much progress, and you get this great energy that rolls along with it until you get it done.
I've always said I'm momentum driven. If I can do it for a week, then I'm good until I get to a milestone, for the most part. I think the biggest thing
I'm motivated. I'm motivated by milestones. Yeah.
Yeah. So the biggest thing I learned this year is that I do have a minimum pace, going back to that momentum, where if I target too low of a number and I don't have to do it like almost every day, that 5 days a week, then I lose momentum. And once I start making excuses for why I didn't do it today or tomorrow or today, I can make excuses for the rest of my life. And so I learned that if I'm not writing fast enough, I'm going to lose sight of the big picture and write to the next mile, or write to the next page rather than to the end of the chapter or the end of the story. I'm not looking far enough forward. And that's how I get really off track, is, heads down and not focused on the big picture. So I need that momentum to remember what I was doing and where it was going and how it all fits together.
Yeah.
So Yeah, NaNoWriMo's is not sustainable for me, but 10,000 words a month is too slow.
Yeah.
So I got to find a sweet spot.
And it's also which milestones you focus on.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you're writing the first half of a book, you need to focus on the pace. What's your milestone for today? And maybe you can look at, I got 500 words. I got 550 words. Let's go for 600. I've got the 620. Let's go for 650 and so on. And you can get in a lot of words that way. But when you get into the latter half, you start looking at the big milestones because it's like, I'm over halfway. I'm on the downslope. And because if you focus on the big picture in the first half, it really bogs you down because you keep seeing how much more you have to do.
I mean, to some degree.
At least for me.
Yeah, to some degree. Like, I need a direction to go in, though. So maybe it's not a focus at the end scene, but it's a direction to be writing in, if that makes any sense.
You have to know where you're going. You have to have that milestone ahead of you, or that signpost.
I need the signposts. I need the milestone. If I hit the inciting incident, then I gotta hit the next post. I gotta hit the next post. I gotta hit the next post.
Yeah.
So I am milestone driven.
Yeah. So I think my hot mess might work for the first half of the book, and I just need to escalate stakes, which is fine because 50,000 words isn't a full manuscript anyway. And if I can figure out exactly where I'm going with that elevated stakes, then I think, most of what I wrote can be totally salvaged. I just need to get there. So yeah. I mean, I do have a grave robbing. I mean, that's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Yep.
And right now, my end scene is introducing the supernatural character. So,
just had me wondering about is that one of the advantages of writing a series? Is that you get through this book so you can get to the next book where the really cool stuff is happening.
I think part of it is I was thinking a lot about things I want to happen in later books. And then, wait, those are the really cool things. But in order for it to be cool, we need, the first book or two of it not happening. So I need to hit other milestones that are exciting within this book and not give away all the beat points I've planned for future books, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because I can't make all the exciting things happen in this book. Otherwise, it's not a series, it's a book. So,
right.
Well, yeah, because I can have different exciting things happen in the next book.
Oh, yeah.
Because, while it's the same characters, I've shifted my location and I've got a new theme going on.
Right. Yeah. But like I have twists and things I want to happen, but I don't want them to happen in this book. And so I need to, just make sure that I'm excited about the book I'm in and not the book I'm headed toward. And, I don't even know what book it's going to happen in. I just know that there are twists what twists are going to be in it, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, it's a different subgenre for me, and maybe it's not a good one for me. We'll find out. I read a lot of it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what I can write. But I was excited to give it a try. So, anybody?
It was an opportunity to learn.
It was an opportunity to learn. I don't think it was wasted.
I don't think it was wasted.
There we go. The 15-minute chime at the 15-minute mark.
Okay.
So, anybody joining in off camera want to talk about what they learned with their writing or editing this year? Da-na-na-na, Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na, da-na.
Bated breath.
It was a very gratifying year for me.
Good. I'm glad.
You know, it was the culmination of things started at the beginning of the pandemic, and like stuff was actually like happening.
Sure.
You know, like so I made it a goal in 2020 to actually change my direction into visual development.
Right.
So I wanted to do art for video games and books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So now I'm working in visual development. So I achieved the goal of 2020. So I'm feeling pretty good about it.
That's awesome. I'm really excited for you. So I think you deserve all the good things. All the good things. Oh no, it's a yawn. Okay, sorry. It's a big yawn.
Still waiting for those comments, audience. No.
Yeah, it's okay. I guess they didn't try anything new. They just kept going with what was working.
Or at least they're having a hard time putting it into words.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, the only way out is through.
Yes, the only way out.
Through. Yeah.
So, Eva was testing the forms. So, no, that's fine. I mean, you've got projects you're working on, and I get that. So, I did something clever yesterday. I left the space heater on in my garage.
Whoops.
Not while I was out of the house, but wait, no. While I was out of the house, but not overnight. There we go.
Okay.
Was that good or bad?
It wasn't great, but I try not to leave space heaters unattended.
Mm-hmm.
So I have one on right now because I'm painting some stuff in the garage and I don't want it to get too cold while it's drying.
Right.
So,
right.
Eva tried fast drafting for real and it's now my way. Yeah, that's why Nano works for me. Fast drafting to get through the rough draft at least.
Yeah, me too.
So.
Or to at least start.
Yeah.
That's not a term I'm familiar with. Is that basically what we're doing during Rimo?
Yeah. It's the draft without, necessarily doing much editing, where you just go through and you do it in as short a time period as is reasonable.
Yeah. We'll fix it in post.
Fast drafting is, according to wellstory.com, i.e. the first response on Google, fast drafting is quite literally the process of writing the first draft of your novel or short story, novella, etc. as quickly as possible. No hesitation, no excuses, no editing as you go. That said, fast drafting won't be the right technique for every writer.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you, Google.
Eva says, for me, it's getting it done very quickly after starting or I won't finish it. Yeah. Momentum. Because, if you wait for your muse, then, I'm going to be writing 4 days a year and that doesn't write me a novel. So Eva says, my middle grade stories are shorter. Book 1 was a 19K fast draft and is at 25K after an edit. Oh, nice. That's pretty solid. Book 2 was fast drafted at 25K and is waiting for an edit. Book 1 took, 4 days, 19K in 4 days. And book 2, 13 days for 25K. So.
She knew what she was writing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Although 13 days for 25K is just a little faster than Nano. So I think I've hit that before. So, but it's still a lot. It's super awesome. And let me tell you, it was not that nice when I finished it. So
No.
Maybe I need to plan better because I keep having to start stories over again. And I have outlines, but if I outline too detailed, then I write the scene as expected, and it doesn't leave room for growth. And a lot of times the scenes are disjointed because I write the scene I expected, but it doesn't necessarily lead smoothly to the next one, and it ends up with a lot of it doesn't
kind of
read smoothly. Yeah.
It's kind of janky.
Yeah. Eva says, yeah, I'm an outliner. 13 days was mostly 0 count days. I don't know what that means.
No, see, that sounds like 13 days, but half of them she didn't write anything. So that would be
right. I think that was a typo. I'm not sure.
I'm hoping that's a typo.
Eva said, yeah, they both need a big edit. I just decided I'm waiting until I'm all the way done because things change and I learn more. Yeah. I have drafted a sequel to the main story I've been querying, but I've never gotten it out of rough draft. But knowing where I might go lets me seed things in for later. So, oh yeah, nope, 0 count days.
Okay,
that's exactly what it sounded like.
So that just raised the word counts on those days you did write. That's
my hands hurt. I did 4K once in my life, and my hands hurt so bad. So bad.
I wrote 7K in a day once, trying to write 10K, but I still call that a win because that still beat the hell out of my last record of 3K. So, like, I was really proud of myself, but I was so mad at myself because I was forgoing sleep in lieu of writing. And I was like, I promised myself I wouldn't do this. Promised myself I wouldn't like purposely stay awake for the purpose of writing or working, you know, like.
I mean, I think for an event is different than standard, like day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, I tried to make it a special event, but to do it at all is like, I try not to do it. I try not to.
Yeah. So Eva says it's a planned and outlined 6-book series that she anticipates will end about 140 to 160K words. She wrote a lot of the days.
On the days that she wrote a lot.
Yeah. And she needs to get better about actually writing for a set amount of time more often. Yeah. My hands hurt from journaling more than typing, but I do have rheumatoid arthritis and CT. Lame.
That sucks.
Yeah. So I gotta pace myself, and then I gotta let it percolate a little more in my head. And you know, everybody's different. So and someday people will love my stories.
Yes, they will.
One thing I noticed in writing the last 2 books as opposed to writing Perils of Prague is that usually I focus on the action. But the first draft of Perils of Prague wrapped up at around, I believe it was 74,000 words. And it eventually got padded out to around 100,000 words. And the other 2 books pretty much first drafted right out to just at 100,000 words.
Okay.
So, and it actually had me worried on the first draft of a Kindred of Kali, because it was like, my descriptions are usually lacking, and I've hit 100,000 words, and people are going to ask for more descriptions. This is going to get huge.
Yeah.
I think it's currently at like 105 or 6,000 words. And I think it's just the repetition, getting better at seeing the targets and hitting them.
And also it's, your world better now. Because you're writing in the same world.
Yeah, I'm writing in the same world. So I'm getting deeper history and world building, And
right.
And
Yeah.
part of that is because I deliberately left my world building a little bit loose so that I could insert historical events as I needed them.
Right. No, of course. So Eva says, I mean, I type a lot in chats. I'm a speedy typist. Yeah, I'm like 70 some words per minute. I'm not super fast, but I'm respectable. I'm quite respectable speed typist. But I find it very different to write 2 sentences, chat, write 2 sentences than I do typing straight for an hour, you know?
Well,
so
writing for an hour versus typing for an hour are very different animals.
Right. I'm saying typing quickly in chats while chatting is I find very different than typing a story.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah. So Eva says, couple that with an outline and it's easy if I just do it. I'm not a big fan of writing, to be honest. I like telling stories and like having written stories. I think most of us are there. I like having written stories, and I like that moment of serendipity when I realize how 3 or 4 things just come together and suddenly, of course, it had to happen this way because of the world and the this and the that, you know? So Eva does sprints that are closer to 12 minutes with short breaks, like 2 to 10 minutes. So 2 hours, I can hit 3K if I'm focused, which isn't often.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I can usually hit the NaNoWriMo 1667 in about 90 minutes. I've done an hour and I've done 8 hours, depending on the day.
Yeah.
So Eva says, I think that'll be a habit I aim to create in the new year, a 2-hour window of writing in the evenings, a few nights a week, rather than just on weekends when I do the bulk. Nice.
Yeah. Kind of spread it out.
Yeah.
I like to focus on writing or editing every other month rather than every month, just so I have time to read and leave my computer and stuff like that. So, and also it gives me time to switch gears between projects and keeps me from before I was doing the mandated breaks, I would be like, oh, I didn't finish as much as I wanted. And I would never take a break because I never do enough. I can never do as much as I want myself to do. So, yeah. Eva said her forms work. Yay. Yay. And Greg is here. Hello, Greg.
Hi.
So it is 6:30.
It is 6:30. Our party is over.
So that's it for 2022.
Wow.
I got family stuff next week, and I think our first stream of the new year might be New Year's Day. And we can talk all about our hopes and dreams that will promptly get crushed. I mean, not crushed. What's the opposite of fulfilled? Fulfilled, that one.
Fulfilled, that one.
So we're having the hangover stream on New Year's Day, right?
Yes. Well, I mean, I hope the hangover's mostly gone by 4:30 in the afternoon. So, and I don't drink that much. Since Greg joined us late, did you want to tell us about your high point of the year and your low point?
Since that was the topic.
We're sharing Greg, our highs.
Retrospective of 2022.
So, I also did not enjoy catching COVID. Finally,
nice.
That was not fun.
No, I've managed to avoid COVID so far, and I hope to continue this record for many years to
come. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you're not alone. Greg's low point was dealing with family deaths.
Yeah.
It's been a rough year.
Mm-hmm.
We're not sad that 2022 is coming to an end, but we are glad to have it come to an end with us hanging out with y'all.
Yay! Yeah!
So, yay! Greg says the high point was seeing in-person belly dances.
Yay!
Have you gone to see Sako?
I don't think so.
Because most of yours are Richmond area, I think.
Most of mine are Richmond area, yeah.
Yeah. So, because Sako's been doing a lot more of her belly dancing. So, okay. Eva said, same, still COVID free as far as I know. Really hoping we miss it for always. Yeah. I caught it the day they released the bivalent vaccine. And I hadn't been able to get a booster because I don't qualify because I'm low risk since November. Oh, Greg got to see you dance online once.
Oh, yay!
Because you do stream your videos. So that's an awesome way. Oh, on your website, you should have links to all your, or do you have a playlist for those on your channel?
I have the videos all up on my website.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they are there. Okay, good. Yeah. Excellent.
So I guess I should say that one of the high points of 2022 for me was when my wife decided, after many years of avoiding Ren Fair, that she wanted to go back and had fun.
I understand getting burnout on it.
Mm-hmm.
But did she have a good time?
She had a good time. She almost made it the whole day, but she had a good time. And she, like the day before, she was going in Danes, and the morning of, she's pulling out garb and putting together an outfit.
Yay! I'm always happy when people who get burnt out on things they used to enjoy go back and find, some of that joy again.
Have a chance to rediscover it. Yeah.
Enjoy the nostalgia factor, if nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
So, but sometimes you need to step away for a while. So, yeah. Fun. Yeah. Eva says, another 2023. Oh, shameless self promo. The 2023 high point could be a cash prize for a writing contest hosted by CGL, a part of the greater AuthorTube community. Live stream tomorrow over on Laurie Barrett's channel. Link below. Shameless self promo. After this, I will be creating my Mary Vlogmas 18th day video, which will mostly gush about this. So,
oh, yay!
Eva's like, it's not my event. I'm just the one that keeps it anonymous. With those forms, you spent the entire stream getting just right and working and tested. So, yay.
I was actually kind of impressed that it let you post the link. So
yeah. So, okay, let's start with Doc. Tell people where they can find you.
Okay. You can find me by going to your favorite search engine and searching on Doc Coleman Steampunk. And that will bring you to my website, doccoleman.com. It will also help you find my Amazon author page, where you can look at my published works and see small samples of most of them and decide if it's the right thing for you or someone that you love or someone that you hate. I don't care. I need the sales.
And I'm Sako Tumi. I also go by Voit. You can find me on the internet as Sako Tumi or Sako. I am on most social media, so you can track me down pretty easily.
And I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood. I blog, vlog, and podcast, writing tips from the pros, and of course, my own writerly musings. And I've got one short story out from last January with Dark Recesses Press about a hike in the woods that doesn't turn out like people would have hoped. So other than that, I write fantasy, and someday I hope to find somebody to give me some lovely external validation and publish it for me. And until then, I'm hanging out, writing, and trying to get better. And I hope everybody has a great holiday season. I know tonight is the first night of Hanukkah, and solstice is on the 21st, and Christmas is on the 25th, and New Year's Eve is on the 31st, and I will be back on the 1st to celebrate New Year's Day. So have a great rest of 2022, and I think we'll all be happy to say goodbye. See you never again to 2022. So
Indeed.
have a great rest of your year, though. Bye.
I owe Saturnalia.